again. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we're live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio today, Fox Sports Radio, Sirius XM Channel 83 on the podcast later. FS2 today. We got knocked off FS1 on FS2, back on FS1 tomorrow. And then Friday, I'm just doing a radio show on radio only. That'll be fun. Joy Taylor is joining me. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. One of the smartest football guys I've ever worked with, Bill Polian.
Yes.
Hall of Fame level executive. Hall of Famer, former Colt, Buffalo Bill. Built the Colts under Peyton Manning. Built the Bills. Jim Kelly, one of the smartest guys I've ever met in football. Dearly miss him. Wonderful guy. He's a co-founder of AAF, American Alliance of Football. And I've said before, I'm not sure if the league's going to work, but I think one of the two or both will work. My gut feeling is these new football leagues, and I feel strong about it. I would be an investor if I could. Told you this years ago about the UFC 15 years ago. Could I invest? If I had the money, I would have. It sold for $4.5 billion. I told you 7-8 years ago, if I could invest in the MLS, I would have. It was $35 million then. It's $185 million now for an expansion fee. And I think I would invest in both these leagues. There's no anxiety from the NFL. NFL, I think, wants both these leagues to succeed. And I'll say this about these leagues. Bottom line, here's why they're going to work. Because the NFL has been showing us time and time again, they go after other leagues. They go after baseball. They go after college basketball. You don't think the NFL would love to see a February, March, early April football league to get guys like me talking about the NBA less? Hell yeah. They move all their free agency, their draft, their combine. The NFL's in a battle with other leagues. They love that baseball won't shrink their season. They love that baseball playoffs happen in October, right in the middle of football. So the NFL wants... They're in a battle with the NBA for eyeballs and Twitter clicks. And they would love to see one of these football leagues work.
Plus, neither one of them, I think, have aspirations of replacing the NFL.
That's right.
So it only complements it.
Yeah. By the way, I thought this was interesting. So I believe I'm not into this whole Westbrook, James Harden, chasing stats, chasing plaques, chasing awards. I'm not into it. The only thing that matters in the NBA is winning titles. I don't give a rip about stats. I'm not into Westbrook. I think Harden's better than Westbrook by a lot, but I'm not into him, staying in blowout games to get records. Both Westbrook and Harden are chasing Wilt Chamberlain records, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's interesting because MJ was asked the other day about what's more impressive, what Westbrook's doing triple-doubles or what Harden's doing scoring 30 a game.
Which is harder from a player standpoint? 6 championships, by all means.
Winning. By the way, Westbrook has had teammates. Carmelo Anthony acknowledged. Yeah, he's chasing rebounds. We're kind of goosing his rebound stats. Carmelo admitted it. And James Harden, his team is admitting it by keeping him in blowouts to hit a meaningless three. LeBron James, by the way, had a triple-double last night. Here was LeBron James' thought on his amazing triple-double last night.
At the end of the day, we lost the ball game. I don't care what I did individually. I can care less if I'm not winning ball games. That's what I'm all about. So I can throw that game in the trash.
Triple-double, throw it in the trash. Because LeBron's chasing something bigger. And you see this all the time. You see it in Hollywood, you see it in tech, you see it in sports, you see it in the NBA. There are two paths you can take. In Hollywood, you can be The Rock, make money and be popular. That's disposable. Nobody's going to be talking about Rampage, Skyscraper, Tooth Fairy 8 minutes after they're released. But it makes Rock rich and popular. I like Rock. Everybody likes Rock. Leonardo DiCaprio would not star in The Tooth Fairy. He's in Revenant. He's in Wolf of Wall Street. He's in Departed. He's in Blood Diamond. We quote those movies 30 years later. They have lasting influence. Those are two different paths. The Rock's going to get popular and make money. Leonardo DiCaprio will be quoted. Matters, not a disposable career. You see this in tech all the time. Apps make people rich. They're mostly time wasters. Almost no app matters. Right, they're time wasters. I mean, Angry Birds made somebody rich. Uber, FaceTime, Google Maps change the world. Which path do you want? Wilt Chamberlain holds all those stat records. He's more famous, 100 points. Bill Russell, his career matters more. Do you know what the NBA Finals MVP award is called? It's not called the Wilt Award. It's called the Bill Russell Award. Didn't score like Wilt. Didn't have the assist. Doesn't have all the records. Disposable or long-lasting? Westbrook and Harden, it's not ironic, are chasing Wilt's records, not Russell's. What do you want to be? Famous and popular? Or quoted, remembered, critically acclaimed? And I'm not a huge believer in critical acclaim, but in Hollywood, movies, it matters. Oscars matter. They do. So, I look at a lot of this stuff with Harden and Westbrook, and you can choose either. Harden, keep me in the game. Blowout loss, win. Want to get that record. LeBron James is chasing something greater than player of the month.
Couldn't you argue, though, that we need both?
Not really.
I mean, you don't want to just unplug sometimes and watch...
Tooth Fairy? Never.
You don't just need a light movie every once in a while?
By the way, light movies, Hangover's hysterically funny. I'm not saying I don't like comedies. There's never been a point in my life I thought, you know what I want? I want to spend $70 on popcorn tickets and watch Tooth Fairy. If Revenant was the level of every movie, I'd go to the movies more. The problem is half the movies stink. Now I just stay home and wait for Vice to come out on at home, and I'll watch it in my theater.
Oh, we go to the movies a lot, but I think that you need balance in everything.
So you got
to have the Russell Westbrooks that get the stats and make it exciting during the regular season, and then you appreciate the guys like MJ and LeBron who win the championships and are on a different category. I just don't think everything can be the same, and one. It depends on what you're motivated by.
But my thing, in sports, it's about winning.
I agree with this. You and I have gone back and forth on this a lot. I prefer championships. MJ is
well, not even championships. It's not just championships. You prefer team. You prefer we over me. Because sports is about a collaboration, a community, a unit. You're building together a momentum.
Right.
I don't think basketball's better with Russell Westbrook shooting 28 times and shooting 40%. I think the Westbrook now, who's a distributor, still can't shoot. Oklahoma City's better. The game's better. It's a better example. Like, I think Westbrook's game now is about winning. I mean, he still can't shoot. His plus minus is the fourth best on his own team.
Right, but I mean, I think like even with Wilt and Bill Russell, when you use those examples, when we look at Wilt Chamberlain, we talk about his career in a fun way. You know, he's still someone who contributed to the game. He still put up incredible numbers. You just put Bill in a different category.
The winning category. Listen, I like The Rock. The Rock is fun. If James Harden was, I would watch him play. I'm not like, to your point, if Harden was in town tonight, I'd go watch.
Right. Like, I just think that there's always and sports is entertainment, right? There's always has to be a balance in everything. So I don't necessarily think
But
that
I think
wrong.
the NBA media tends to fall in love with the less relevant stuff and not pay attention to the more relevant stuff. There's too much fanboy.
Yeah, we
Not
get
we.
distracted.
I don't think we do as a show. I think our show is the wet blanket.
We try to balance things out, but of course, everyone gets excited and attracted to the new, fun, interesting thing.
Yeah.
And that tends to be, we talk about the Patriots and the Warriors. Like, winning gets boring.
Yeah.
It's because it's consistent.
I went yesterday. I got a physical. Mm-hmm. I went and got a physical yesterday. This
Sounds
is just
fun.
a minute of wasted time, but I have to tell you about this. So I go to get a physical, and it's just not that much fun. They're poking and prodding and stuff, and whatever. And then I get my blood test at the end, and so I just close my fist and I turn away. I don't mind giving blood, give it 3 or 4 times a year. I don't want to watch it. And I'm sitting there talking to the lady, blah, blah, blah. And then I turn over to the right. There's like 6 vials of blood over there. What am I, a vampire? What's happening to me?
She got you.
6 vials. I'm exhausted today. I may not be able to do the 3rd hour. Where is that blood going?
I don't know that I've ever.
Where is all that blood going?
Well, they got to send it up to different places and labs and make sure that you're good.
How much do you need?
That's what I don't understand. Don't they just use like one little drop. on the
yeah,
thing?
if you put one drop in a slide, you literally know my levels of riboflavin. You know everything about me. 6 vials
seem excessive, the amount of blood that they need for one little
It seems
drop.
like Coming
we
up,
sound like scientists and doctors right now.
Yeah.
I think we picked the right profession.
Bill Polian, super smart guy on the AAF. And by the way, I'm going to ask him about Antonio Brown. What do you do if a guy is an unbelievable monster? But he is 31 this year, and there is some baggage. Bill Polian's around the corner. 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35. Thing is, when you start to notice it, it's too late.